Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this one. Fun and games. And we haven't even gone live yet. Yeah, fun and games. A certain appreciation societies on Cannon Fodder TV, and talk about off-color yellow. What are we talking about? See
Get
you
rid of
on
it.
the other side.
Lensip.
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 James.
That's what I thought when I. Do you know what the biggest insult for me was? This is our tribute to 1971. Well, you couldn't have got it more wrong, could you? You couldn't have got it more wrong. First and foremost, for colours. First and foremost, for colours, the cannon is the wrong way round. But people are foaming at the mouth to buy this shirt. Well, Stan must be absolutely rubbing his hands with glee. I stopped buying Arsenal shirts more than 12 seasons ago. 12 seasons. You think how much money I've saved? How much a shirt costs? And now I am 1971 original replicas all day long. I urge anyone watching today, don't buy that shirt. You don't have to always have the latest shirt. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses. I mean, I love my 1971 shirts. They're very thick, and in the winter when you would go to games pre-COVID, they are thicker. But there's a little bit of willpower involved. There's no need. It's completely no need. All this Kroenkes get out of our club, a protest on the 23rd of May, but they're foaming at the mouth to buy the new shirt. We have to hit him hard, and we have to hit him in his pocket, because that's the only thing he knows. I saw a fantastic tweet by someone, and I can't remember who it was. Otherwise, I would say who it is. The fantastic top, the owner of Leicester, being guided onto the pitch. I saw an Arsenal fan saying, "If that's Kroenkes, he'd call security." If that was Kroenkes, he'd call security. Leicester, I've said it once and I'll say it again. Leicester have made more progress in 5 years than we have in 10. And they started out in the Championship. They didn't start out in the Premier League. I wish Arsenal had a player like Jamie Vardy. I wish Arsenal had a player like Mark Albrighton. Mark Albrighton is an FA Cup winner and a Premier League winner, and he plays for Leicester. But I'm already being told by all and sundry, Reece Nelson's better than him. Rubbish. Reece Nelson doesn't even have a career. Reece Nelson won't do what Albrighton's done. I can tell you that now. And he's an excellent footballer. And before we came on, Tel made a great point about if you didn't want Leicester to win that game and you begrudge Leicester their victory, you're not a football fan. And he's absolutely on point. But herein lies the facts. Tielemans played for Monaco before he played for Leicester. Castagna used to play for Genk. If Arsenal would have signed Sonjiku, Tielemans and Castagna, fans would have had a fit with their leg up. If Arsenal would have signed Albrighton, fans would have had a fit with their leg up. But this team has got characteristics that we are light years away from. We are light years away from the characteristics that Leicester have both on and off the pitch. And I'm not being funny, they've got a British manager. We're a British football club, aren't we? But everything's got to be the dazzling, it's got to come from abroad. It's got to come from, so we can't have anybody from Islington, can't have anyone from Hampstead, can't have anyone from Camden Town. They've got to come from everywhere. We need to start to look at Leicester as a blueprint. We just smart, solid purchases for the good of the club.
I have to say, Brendan Rodgers is from Northern Ireland, and the Irish have a phrase. They'd say if you took a picture of him, oh, geez, he's got an Irish head on him. I was just talking to Tim Hogan over WhatsApp. I know he's watching this, so a big shout out to Tim. And I said, Tim, I'm going to wear the Claire top. I'll strip in a minute. that should lose you. And about 20,000 people have just run. But no, he's a great manager. He's an honest guy. He's done a wonderful job. And I'll just share this with the fans. Pre-COVID and pre-crazy ticket prices, myself and a friend, if you're living in London or a big city, you're going to have 2, 3, 4 clubs near you that you can go and see. And if you're a football fan, like I am, you know, my friends would ring me up, tell QPR are playing against Liverpool. Great, do you want to go it? Yeah, we go over QPR. Then we go to Fulham another time. Then we go to West Ham. And then we, and me and when I was about 17, a mate of mine whose parents were from Southampton, he said, Tottenham are playing Southampton. Do you want to go to see a play at Tottenham? I said, I don't know about that. But anyway, we got on the back of his motorbike, rocked up to the ground with our crash helmets, and Southampton scored, and we were jumping around. And the next bit, a load of Tottenham fans came running towards us, so we had to stick the old crash helmets on. But, you know, if you're living, my son does exactly the same. He's got a load of mates. They go down to the new West Ham Stadium. What's it called? The London Stadium. It's a fraction of the price that you pay to get into Arsenal. You could just get tickets on the day, and you go and enjoy a football match. And yes, we can all say that we'd rather Arsenal win, the team in red and white, you know, win, or in this miserable lemon. Who ever heard of a team playing in lemon or lemsip? Or it's worse than lemon, isn't it? Look at the colour of it, and they've made it worse. Instead of the baby blue shorts, they're wearing lemon shorts. What? In my day, if you in my day, if you wore that yellow belly meant scared. Cowdy custard, you know. It's just a ploy to make more money. And now it's every season, which is getting absolutely stupid. Well, have you seen the third kit? It's like a zigzag of navy blue and mid blue. I mean, it's just if you've got a couple of 2 or 3 kids and they say, "Oh, Dad, get me the kit," you're going to be in for a ton per kid, and then you'll probably say, "Oh, well, I better buy one the top myself." This is just, it's fleecing the fans. It is sheer, unadulterated greed. Stop it, Arsenal. You've got enough money. You've got enough fans. And stop this. And go and look over your shoulder 100 miles up the M1. You've got a little team called Leicester with a fantastic owner, a fantastic manager, an absolutely superb backroom team and scouting team. Top quality. They're unearthing rough diamonds all the time. And if you're not, if you weren't a Chelsea supporter for the cup final, surely you would have been saying, "Let the underdog win." And they did really well. They braved it out. Of course, I might say, if we're going to talk about Arsenal, Arteta showed Brendan Rodgers, not that Brendan Rodgers probably needed tutoring, but he showed Brendan how to nullify Chelsea. If you're up against a much better team with better players, then funnel back, hope to get one goal, and then funnel back again. And it was a fantastic goal to win a cup final. And unfortunately, next season, our boys are going to be going out wearing lemon. It's not even the yellow that Villarreal wore. It's lemon. What idiot! And then, as James was saying, they then put the cannon on back to front. It's almost as if the person doing it was absolutely blind drunk or fluted, as they say in Ireland, and said, "Is it yellow?" Well, kind of. All right. Is there a cannon on it? Well, yeah. Well, fine. Print 1,000. Print 600,000.
But the thing is, you know, yesterday and actually earlier this morning, when I'm looking at my Twitter feed, there are people saying they've gone out and brought the away kit. People have gone out and brought it. And I'm thinking, you're saying Arsenal are fleecing the fans. There's still people going out there. Exactly, James.
Well, anybody listening now, I'll tell you, all my mates who go to all the matches home and away, they don't buy the kit anymore.
Somebody else will tell. Somebody else will. And they will be the ones complaining about Kroenkes. How are you going to get him out if you keep feeding the monster? do not buy the merchandise. You're feeding the monster. You can't
Absolutely.
complain. What you have is what you deserve because you are feeding the monster. And just go
Can
back to
I
the point
just say,
go
to
tell.
fans who've been watching Arsenal only recently, in the 1950 Cup final against Liverpool, there was a clash of colours. So both teams had to change, and Arsenal changed. You might see the picture, is it of Joe Mercer holding the cup up? Arsenal won 2-0. And Joe Mercer was wearing this deep yellow kit, which they called Old Gold. This is what it's called. It's halfway between really yellow and orange. It's called Old Gold. And he wore that, all the team wore that. And when I started supporting in the 60s and they changed their kit, it was always called Old Gold. Nobody wanted to call it yellow, and it was Old Gold. Now this disaster of a colour that they're wearing does not give a nod to the old team. I could just show people this. They might be interested in seeing this. I was lucky enough to get a ticket for the Champions League final, which we've just worked out was it's now May the 17th. If I hold it up, this is the colour we were wearing, and it says, can you see it there? It says Champions League final. Just let me get it in the middle there. Champions League final, Paris, 17th of May, 2006, Barcelona versus Arsenal. And this was left in a little plastic packet on everybody's seat.
I thought you'd have burnt it by now, Tell.
What? Burnt it? Actually, I'll tell you a true story. It wasn't left on my seat because when I got into my seat, some horrible little urchins had gone round and swiped loads of them from the Arsenal end. Yeah? And I'm sitting there thinking, where's mine? So I wrote to the club, and fair play to Arsenal. I said, look, I've got to my seat, and somebody taken and they sent me it all packaged up and a program, I think, and something else. So fair play to the sort of club then. But please, can somebody at Arsenal watch this program or just listen to the Arsenal supporters? We don't want to wear lemon. We're not lemsips. We don't want to wear. And if you're going to make it, lemon, then or if you're going to make it, a deep yellow, have a darker coloured shorts. Not the whole thing is a streak of lemsip. It's awful. And I know why they're doing it. They're doing it because they want to get Arsenal used to, because they have a difficulty making new style kits each season. They're varying the colour. I don't think we even should wear anything other than. Huh?
All the colours of the rainbow.
Well, I love
if
teams
you go back in the recent history, that's exactly what we've had, Tel. Exactly what we've had. Purple, mint green, yellow, white. It's all the colours of the rainbow. As I say, I repeat once again, I stopped buying shirts 12 seasons ago. And it's 1971 replicas all the way for me. So if you are going to buy an Arsenal shirt this year, buy a 71 replica. Buy a 93 replica. Buy an 89 replica. Don't buy that. Emirates fly better. Yeah. Fans will be watching this show. JVC used to be Arsenal for years. Never mind your Dreamcast. Never mind your Sega. Never mind your O2. It always used to be JVC and Arsenal for perfect match, as they used to say. But for me, people need to have willpower. As Alex says, you're feeding the monster. And I think Stan Kroenkes is just laughing, really.
Of course,
he's laughing at us.
Of course he is.
I don't believe the bid of Daniel Ek. I don't believe it was foolhardy, because if you're gonna at that level, money at that level, and I don't have that amount of money, but I can imagine money at that level, if you're going to do something, you're going to be discreet about it. He's been anything but discreet. But Arsenal fans have been opening up Spotify accounts and probably bombarding his DMs with messages and this and that, because they're like sheep. They follow the in-player, the in-manager, and now the in-perspective owner. Never run a football club in his life. Never. but yet he's the perfect man to drive Arsenal forward. Honestly, you couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it up. I tweeted out the other day when the Daniel Ek quote came online. I tweeted out that if he has been told that they don't need the money, then I predict between now and a maximum of 5 years, Arsenal will be playing Championship football, not Champions League football. Between now and 5 years, if things stay the same with Kroenkes, we are going down. It might not happen overnight, but like, for example, last season 8th, this season 10th, next season's 12th, and then 14. And then finally, when you flirt with it enough, bang, down you go. And people say, oh, you must be depressed, and oh, don't be daft. No, mate, I'm sure Leeds and West Ham were thinking the same thing. But for people that think this is a one-off, this is nowhere near a one-off. We're in absolute dire straits, and something needs to be done.
Just one other thing I want to quickly pick up on, Tel, before we'll go back to you, is that the statement, actually, we were talking before we went live, of course, about certain people on Twitter saying, oh, look at some of the people on the so-called Arsenal fans having a dig at Arsenal, using Leicester City to beat Arsenal with. But listen, excuse me, Leicester City have done wonders. The previous owner, done wonders over the last 5 years than Arsenal have done in the last 10 years. So there's your yardstick right there. There's the benchmark for Arsenal. Catch up, Arsenal. I'll tell you what, I would take Vardy now over an Auba. I'll take Vardy now over a Lacazette. So there you go. I've said it. There's a lot of people upset. They're upset, Tel. I'm thinking, well, surely you'd want the underdog to win the FA Cup. A new name on the FA Cup. They've tried to win it 4 times. How can you begrudge Leicester City? How can you begrudge them? Terrible.
Well, I've worked out why Kroenke thinks we should play in lemon, because it will be cream next time. If you look at the picture behind you of Kroenke, he's got a kind of a cream lemon coloured jacket. So we're copying him. If he wears it, it'll be cream next year. I'm telling you. Can I just say to people, I turned up once with a kit very similar to this. This is the proper yellow. You can call it saffron or you can call it old gold, but this is the colour, right? This is the colour Arsenal change kit should be. This is actually, Tim will like this. I don't know if you can get Tim on. Tim might be wearing one as well. This is the County Clare kit. They play hurling and they play Gaelic football. This is the colour that I love to see Arsenal play in. We did the double in 71 and we were wearing this. Please, Arsenal, don't mess about. Don't sort of take this the king's shilling. Don't take money and rip the fans off. And one quick thing about red and white, because that also annoys me. Do you remember a few seasons ago, they changed the red and it was almost orange. It was almost an orange kit. Yeah. And I remember when I go to see football, if I go and see Liverpool or Man United in red, it kind of frightens me because I think, my God, these guys mean business. There is a statistic that teams that play red win more frequently than teams that wear any other colour. I found this yesterday. Fans might be interested. And it's an Arsenal programme with Cesc Fabregas on it. And it's against Wigan. February the 11th, 2007. It's got my son's name on it. I'll just bring it to the camera to Michael, but I can't read the who signed it. It might have been Gail Clichy, or it might be Cesc himself actually. But this is the kind of colours we should be wearing. Proper red, proper deeper colour, not this lemon. What a disaster! Stop doing it, Arsenal.
But Tel, someone said to me that they've done this on purpose. It's a PR stunt, putting the cannon facing the wrong way, the light or the watered down colour of yellow. They've done it on purpose. Listen, whatever they've done, it's worked because people are still going out and buying the top. That has no relation to the 71 team. People are still going out and buying it.
Wasn't there a few famous stories of the Union Jack or the Union flag being unfurled upside down, and a Tory MP put a Union flag up and it had the cross of St Andrew, which is the sort of navy background and white cross that way, and it had the cross of St George, which is like a white background and a straight up kind of red. But they forgot the cross of St Patrick, because St Patrick is the patron saint of both North and South Ireland, and this woman never even spotted it. This is an MP. So are people sleepwalking currently? They can't get the Arsenal colours right. They can't get the cannon the right way round. They can't even get the country's flag the right way up.
Carelessness.
I just want to, yeah.
Carelessness.
There's been some, again, it's silly season where Arsenal gets linked to so many players on the face of the earth. The latest of which a fullback who plays for Southampton, Ryan Bertrand. And I put out a poll, actually, like a couple of hours ago. And the poll was, would you prefer Ryan Bertrand or Zach Medley? And James, surprise, surprise, these are the votes. We've got like 40 odd votes that's coming now. So the choices were, I can't decide. I'd take Brian Bertrand or Zach Medley. Zach Medley is topping the poll, James. Zach Medley is topping the poll at 47%. Ryan Bertrand, 39%. And I can't decide 14%. Well, there is some sense. There's some sense.
Well, at the risk of being disingenuous, I don't think they know who Ryan Bertrand is. I'll tell them. Maybe I can tell them. I don't have access to Google at my fingertips, but I know that he won the Champions League with Chelsea and he's been capped by his country. I didn't have to Google that. I knew it. But then again, it's all about, if you think it's flavour of the month, Odegaard, a couple of good games. We've got to sign Odegaard. And then obviously being linked with all the other players. We're linked with literally every player in the world. But the YouTube influencers that rate a good player, but have never seen him play live, don't know anything about his personal situation, but he's the one we've got to sign because he's my G. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. Arsenal, the blueprint is Leicester. That's the blueprint this summer. How much did Mark Albrighton cost Leicester? Didn't cost anything, as far as I'm aware. And again, how on earth he's not been capped by his country, I do not know. I mean, somebody told me a couple of weeks ago, Reece Nelson's better than Albrighton. How? How is Reece Nelson a better footballer than Mark Albrighton? Explain to me how. But no, obviously they can't. It's the same way of Aubameyang's better than Vardy. Absolute tosh. Absolute tosh. But because Aubameyang plays for Arsenal, honestly, put Aubameyang in the Leicester side, how well do you think he'll do if Aubameyang was to play for Leicester? I don't think he'll do as well. I was thinking about it this afternoon. If I'm Atletico Madrid and I win the Spanish league title, I'm going in for Jamie Vardy next summer. Because if you want that extra little bit of ingredient and you want to kick on and you want to win and you want to, no, I'm serious.
Yeah.
At that level, it's the small details. And he can't go on forever. But Jamie Vardy has got so much character that he can play abroad. He can play he's already proved he can play in England. The Spanish La Liga is more difficult than the Premier League. Only commercialism will tell you otherwise. But going away to Valencia, Sociedad, to Sevilla, Madrid and Barcelona is a little bit difficult and not as easy as going away to a Burnley, for example, or Brighton, for example, or West Ham. And I'd love to see Jamie Vardy play abroad. I'd love to see him play in the Champions League again. And for him to have played in every single round of the FA Cup, you think about that. Not qualifying rounds and proper rounds, every single round, and to have gone on and won it. It really is Roy the Rover stuff. It really is. It's a credit to himself, his family, and his profession. And to think Arsenal were nonchalant. Wenger, I can't promise you a place in the starting 11. Alarm bells should have been ringing. Alarm bells that's when we're finished as a club now. But even how long ago was this? 3-4 years ago? 5?
and just unbelievable. And I wish Leicester all the success in the world. And it starts from the owner down. They're hell bent on success and doing things the right way. I mean, they even arrange away days for fans to get like free beer and free food, or the first drink is free. They really do care. Johnny Evans is rubbish. He's not good enough for Arsenal. Good enough for Leicester. Our fans have literally, they judge players on FIFA and fantasy football. That's what they do. Leicester fans don't. Do you think Leicester fans went mad when they signed Castagna? No. Do you think they went mad when they signed Albrighton? No. They knew they were constructing a really, really good football team. Leicester City are everything we are not. I mean, for example, Yuri Tielemans. Before Leicester, he played for Monaco. But he's not good enough to play for Arsenal. No Leicester player is good enough to play for Arsenal. We live in some of our fans live in their own bubble, and until we go down, that bubble won't pop. And it's like a slow death. It's what it is. It's like a slow death. Not just understand, but the whole the outer edges of a fan base, where the younger fan base have never seen Arsenal win the league, certainly never seen Arsenal win in Europe. The experienced fans that have seen the good times and the bad, and then the elder statesmen that have seen it all. And they used to all get along. Now nobody gets along. Now it's I don't want to know your opinion, old man. It's all about my influencer. It's all about my YouTuber. What about us coming together? 17 years without a league title is far too long for some young fans. But let me tell you this: we didn't win it between 53 and 71. And we didn't win it between 71 and 89. This isn't new. This isn't new. But in the modern day, you would have never expected Arsenal to go 18 years without winning a league title. And until Kroenkes is gone, until this fan base starts to heal, where I'm more important than you, that's not what it's about. In the grand scheme of things, it's not important. What is important is a cannon on your chest. And that elder statesman alongside you. I was thinking earlier on today, I used to be in the clock end. I used to be in the East Stand, West Stand, North Bank, and also at the Emirates. But particularly at Highbury, if you said something out of turn, people would pull you up, saying, what are you doing? Obviously, some people can go a little bit too far, but even in strange suggestions and strange observations, people will go, well, hang on a minute, that's not true. Whereas now, it's as if the most ludicrous gets the most credit, and I worry for our fan base. I really do.
Yeah, I put a poll out day before yesterday, and that poll, I put up so many polls. Would you still want Kroenkes out, even if you invested 200 million pounds? And again, the options were I can't decide, no, and yes. And yeah, 84% of the subscribers said no, we'd still want Kroenkes out, even if he was to invest 200 million pounds.
Yeah, I would want him out. First of all, he isn't going to invest that anyway, and that is never going to happen. And he's never done that in any of the clubs he's owned in the States. So you can bet that isn't going to happen. But even if he did, he's still the wrong owner, because the owner should be like the owner for Leicester. Go to matches, go away on a rainy night to Stoke, go into the dressing room on a if there's a big match coming up, and G up the players. Yeah, be seen as committed, totally committed. You could see, wasn't it wonderful? I don't want to go on about Leicester too much, but wasn't it wonderful? Because he was stuck up in the stands and he was obviously delighted. And I thought, I'd love him to come down onto the pitch. And the next minute, he's on the pitch. The captain, goalkeeper, Schmeichel comes over to him. He's only a little lad. He's lost his dad, and he kept pointing at his dad and the trophy. You know, they had a big picture of his dad there. And why haven't we got an owner like that? Well, listen, Kroenkes is not going to put the money in. I suspect he's going to do one big signing this summer, a marquee signing, and then everybody goes back into their box and is nice and quiet while we have a rerun of this season. Out of interest, I do think Arteta has given the game away. He has said that some players haven't pulled it out for him. I listened to his press conference very carefully, and he said some players haven't given their best, and of course that means they go. And our famous W man, he played well a couple of matches back, didn't he? And he kind of ran through midfield and scored a goal. And somebody flashed the camera onto Arteta, and he was seen to mouth, "Well, it's about time he started doing that." So he's had him there the whole season, and he decided right at the end, "Oh, I've bothered to play." So he's going, guaranteed, off to the MLS, no doubt. And we will have a big churn of fans, and of players, and so be it. We'll have four or five new faces in, a lot of the old faces going. Saliba will come back. He'll have to refashion. Because Luiz is going, he may have to be looking at somebody who's got a bit of Premier League experience to put alongside the sort of fairly young centre-backs that we have now. But, you know, it's going to be an exciting season in terms of who he picks, because Arteta knows if he has it wrong between August and Christmas, he's gone. He will be sacked, and we'll probably have, here you are, you heard it here, we'll probably have Brendan Rodgers in. So the guy with the Irish head.
Let's go to live chat for the first time on this one. Got Connor Young, good evening. Wow, I get to say hello on the live show. First bid rejected, no biggie. Billionaires don't walk away after the first bid. There's a dance they got to do. Be excited. We'll have a fan run thing. Well, memory serves me right. I think Tottenham have got fan representation now on their board. I think I heard that somewhere. Yeah, they beat us to the punch. Got Des who says hello.
Hi, Des.
We've got Mube Guna in the house. Back again to the big up family. Alex, I promise not to buy a new kit this season. I'm fully on board. Stan has to go. Godfather, send me that shirt. All right, okay. It's the right shade of yellow. None of this Lemsip stuff. Lemsip. Oh my goodness. Finally got you on. Got you guys on the panel. Says Des, and what else do we have here? Joel's says, don't buy any merchandise from Arsenal as long as these Americans own the club. Whoops. I will not buy a kit until the cannon faces the right way. But don't buy any more new merch. Don't buy anything. Don't buy anything. You know, just make that small sacrifice. The willpower. You can do it, Des, if you B&Q it. Anyway, also up here. Stevie says, don't buy it. Simples. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. Ashley D, my moderator for the evening, says, hey up, pal, to the yellow gooners. Are you calling my yellow belly? 1 banana, 2 bananas, 3 bananas, 4. Oh dear. I get what you're saying, James, but at this point, Mickey Mouse would be a better.
Yeah, he might have an eye. He might have an eye for a player. He might have an eye for a player. He might have a good scouting network. But yeah, it's just you know, people accuse me of being really daft, saying that Arsenal will be down between 3 and 5. But if things stay the same, they will. You can't run a football club like this. People were salivating over Partey. Do you think Partey would get in the Leicester team? Do you think Leicester would have signed Partey? I've seen Thomas Partey do 4 things this season, and he cost us 45 million quid, and he earns 260 grand a week. I've seen him do 4 things: give away fouls, pass sideways, pass backwards, and shoot way over the bar. But he's got his own song that's a little bit jazzy, so it's all right, isn't it?
Well, do you know, I've been watching.
45 million quid. They must have seen us coming. And if you ask someone, where did Thomas Partey play before Atletico? Oh, I don't know. Real Mallorca. And Real Mallorca are second in the Spanish Segunda Division, and Atletico Madrid, if they win against Valladolid, they have won the title without Thomas Partey. He's physically a very imposing specimen, but he's not going to kick Arsenal on. He's 27. If he's not learning now, he's never going to learn. Arsenal just get saddled with make the same mistake again and again and again. And you watch, the marquee signing this summer will be exactly the same. The characteristics will be exactly the same. And then people will be wondering, well, we're 12th next season. It's not rocket science, is it?
I've got to say, I've watched Partey very carefully this season for us, and he can't cope with the pace of the Premier League. And people forget the Italian division, the La Liga, and a lot of the European divisions. They do this slow, quick, slow game, and he can't run at full pelt for 90 or 95 minutes. He looks as though he's dragging a fridge around with him. And if you compare Ødegaard, which they're all raving about, to Emil Smith-Rowe, there's only one player. If you have to have one player, it's got to be Emil Smith-Rowe. Far better, far faster, great vision, great touch. He's gone past players before you know where you are. So Arsenal, look at the team, look at your youth players. You've got some good youth players coming through. You've got some overhyped youth players coming through as well. And I was talking to a guy today called Mike McDonald, who runs I think it's Gunners Town web Twitter thing, and he was saying that if your players are fancy Dans and are selfish, and I look at me playing and start to get moody, and they're only thinking about themselves, get them out straight away. And I've got to say, no wonder Arteta said about Willian, now he decides to play. And I've seen one or two players in our youth team that are fancy Dans. I'm telling you now, I've seen them. If they don't change their attitude, everybody raves about them. But I've seen some good players in our youth team. There's a guy we got, I'm trying to think of his name, Tim Akinola. He's a lovely player. Nobody's ever heard of him. I've never heard anybody speak about him. He's about 5'7". He's built like that. The guy at Wolves, Adama. He's got this massive build on him. My God, is this guy fast, the right winger? But you don't hear about him. You hear about Aziz, and you hear about all these other players. Now, Aziz is very what you used to call tasty, but he's a bit cocky. He's more than a bit cocky. I've seen him do stuff that goes completely wrong, and he swaggers around. So be careful. Make sure you bring the players who are humble, who are hungry, and who want to play for Arsenal. And if not, it's all going to go belly up. I can see it, as James said. We're probably going to get one slightly underwhelming marquee signing, and then people like Bertrand, who should be put out to pasture. Surely we know now, having done it with Willian, what we know, you don't buy players, like Wenger used to say, if they're in a part of the pitch where they're doing a lot of running, either up front or in midfield. 30 is normally the point where you only give them one season. And if they're in defence, it's a little bit different. Wenger said if they're 32, you can give them one season. Learn from Wenger. He knew the game inside out. Don't start giving these has-beens a place in the Arsenal team. They're just going to say, great, I don't have to move my kids from school, especially if Bertrand lives in London. A bit like Willian, great. My family live in London, my kids are at school in London, and Arsenal are offering me a 3-year contract. And I'll be nearly 40 by the time I'm out of there.
What? James, do you remember when I said to you that I can see Unai Emery's Villarreal? They were going to meet Arsenal. I said I would love if Villarreal was to beat Arsenal. I predicted a 7th finish for Arsenal. I'm telling you what, James, this time next year, it's going to be a lot more of the same. We're going to be out of Europe. Could be even worse.
12.
But it's going to be a lot more of the same come next season. And like you said, people are going to be wondering, why are we still... Because we've never learned the lesson. We never
And
learned the
BLEL
lesson.
And BLEL will be playing Champions League football.
Yeah.
Because
Period.
they'll beat Man United. All these people being disingenuous to BLEL. Oh, Man United will stuff these lot 4-0. No, they won't. Unai Emery's won the Europa League 3 times. He's going for his 4th title with BLEL. It's the equivalent of someone going for the Europa League with West Ham. You know, you imagine that. And look at the players, look at the characteristics they've got. The goalkeeper, Asensio and Rulli. Pedraza, who for me is the find of the season. Played for Betis, played for Alaves, even played for Leeds. I'd sign him in the summer. He's an excellent player, got a fantastic attitude. Look at the young kiddie at BLEO. His name escapes me. I think it's Mina or Yina or Jeremy. I think is his first name. He's got a chance from Unai Emery and he's doing really, really well. Etienne Capoue was always really good, even in his St Etienne days. But he's having like an Indian summer at BLEL. You can really see at BLEL, everybody is together. And for people saying, oh, they're not a big club, they are not a big club. That's absolutely correct. They didn't even get promoted to La Liga until the turn of the century. So they've only been a La Liga club for 20 years. But again, it's all about, you know, influencers and YouTubers. And this one says that, and he's my G, and he's got 50,000 followers. It's as if people are scared to go off and forge their own opinion. It's as if people are scared to, I don't want to be seen not to buy the new shirt. I've got to buy it. I've got to have an opinion on it. No, you haven't. You can keep your mouth shut and carry on your merry way. You know, I've got to be seen to be championing this player because so-and-so says he's really good. Well, is he really good? Have you seen him play? Have you watched him play? The same way with the famous journalist who likes to tell people about how much wages and how much money and how happy somebody is in a football club. I've spoken to in excess of 300 professional players and managers. I wouldn't dare give certain information of that ilk out. Oh, this guy's on 260 grand a week. He's really, really happy. No, it's none of my business. My business is the journey that a player has been on. For that player to tell me that transfer really didn't work out for me, it came too soon. They promised me the earth and they never delivered. I just wanted to touch on a point from what Tel made about Saliba. I don't think we'll see Saliba in an Arsenal shirt again, but that's just my humble opinion.
Okay. Yeah, Tel, listen, I know you've always said you never, back Arsenal to lose, but I mean, for me, for the last, I say 2-3 seasons since doing Canon Fodder TV, I can feel my not my will to live, but when I see Arsenal play now, I don't feel animated. I don't feel excited to see Arsenal play, and that says a lot for me. I'm an excitable chap, but I'm thinking of over the last 2-3 seasons, I'm feeling that energy is the love for Arsenal. I always have the love for Arsenal, but I don't get excited to watch Arsenal play anymore. I'm sorry.
I think of it's because of the two guys you can see there, Josh Kroenkes and Stanley Kroenkes. They seem to think that they can run us like an American franchise, and you can't. They've already been bitten. I suspect that business of this Super League was just a quick tryout, just a toe in the water. But you can bet your bottom dollar they are not going to sell. I was thinking today about, I think it was Blackpool FC. About 5 years ago, they were owned by somebody who wasn't putting any money into the club, and the fans got really annoyed, so they boycotted all the home matches. So the crowd went down to really, a fraction. But what these guys would do, the real Blackpool fans, they used to follow them away. So all the away matches where Blackpool were playing were absolutely jammed. And Blackpool's up in the top northwest of the country, so most of the matches they were playing was like a big journey. But it took them more than half a season before the owners finally gave up. So if we start doing stuff like that, which I can't see Arsenal fans doing, but if they were to, you can bet your bottom dollar these two guys behind you are going to do everything to hold on, because we are the goose that laid the golden egg, or in their case, the lemon egg. But they are going to hold on and hold on, because eventually they're going to sell us into something like they have in the United States, a Super League where we're playing all the big clubs, and it's almost like if you own the house in a big city, New York or wherever it might be, and you know that if you just sit on it and don't do anything, it's going to accrue in value. I was talking to an old guy at an old school reunion a while ago, and he's a retired lecturer and he's living in the States, but his parents left him a house in Barnet in London, and he said, you know, I never did anything to it other than rent it out, and he said, you know, its value has gone up and up and up, and this is what these two guys are thinking. They've got a club in the heart of London, because Arsenal's probably as close to the centre of London as you can get. Maybe Chelsea's similar. You've got a club in the heart of London, and its value, if they can keep it ticking along, and that's all they want to do, if they can keep it ticking along, appease the fans every now and again, then it's going to be within 5 years, we are going to be in a league where they'll have a mishmash about this relegation or something. They'll have something whereby you've got to be in the relegation zone 3 years running or something. They'll set it up so that basically Arsenal are in there and they can sit back and count the TV money, because that's where all the big money is now. It's in the massive and they don't want to put on TV Stoke versus Arsenal. They want Real Madrid versus Arsenal, followed by Barcelona versus Arsenal, followed by Bayern Munich versus Arsenal, Ajax versus Arsenal. That's what they want. That's their plan. And mark my words, unless Arsenal fans do something really quickly, that's the future. Not next year, not the year after, but within 5 or 6 years, that's what's going to happen. I hate to say it, but that's what's going to happen.
James, you want to say something?
Is that still gonna happen if we're a championship club? No, is that still gonna happen? Is that still gonna happen if we're a championship club? I've been on this podcast for years and I love it. It's brilliant. But I've started to be really honest now and say to people, not just on my Twitter, but also where I live in the Netherlands, because they know I'm a passionate Arsenal fan. I've started to tell colleagues and friends, if things carry on in this vein, Arsenal will be down in the Championship between 3 and 5 years. And I'm serious. I'm absolutely serious. And what are they going to do then? What are they going to do then? Are we going to go down again? Are we going to be like Wolves, where you suffer consecutive relegations? I don't think people realise the severity of it. I think they think that this one summer, that fairy dust is going to be sprinkled everywhere and everything's going to be all right. But in real life and in real football, it doesn't work like that. I dropped the hint a couple of weeks ago on a previous pod. Lacazette, Aubameyang, and all the other names that are more associated with speaking with influencers on YouTube rather than their actual footballing ability, they will all leave the club still being eulogized. They will still be eulogized even when they're leaving the football club, because some of the fans, they love the player more than what they do the club. They will say, when TalkSport, for example, or my childhood hero Paul Merson, whenever Paul Merson says anything bad about Arsenal, people come down on him like a ton of bricks. But if you watched Paul Merson play for Arsenal, how on earth can you be critical of him? He's in my opinion, one of the greatest footballers to ever play for Arsenal. And he was my first proper Arsenal hero. And he's spot on 90% of the time. But fans don't want to hear it. They seem to think that everything's going to be all right. It's not going to be all right. Leeds went chasing the Champions League and look what happened to them. And we are slowly but surely doing the same. People that were saying, "Oh, I'm not interested in Europa League. They're all pub teams." But oh no, we've got to win We've got to win the Europa League, otherwise we can't play Champions League football. Oh, we've got to look into to get into the top 4 next year. We won't even be in the top 10 next year. Never mind top 4. I'll go on record now. 17th of May, 2021, 15 years after our only Champions League final, I will go on record and say the 2021-2022 season, Arsenal will not finish in the top 10.
Wow.
Listen, I must say, the only way I diverge, and football's great to get game of opinions, I would diverge and say I've been watching Arsenal non-stop since '67, and I know after the famous double in '71, around about '74, '75, '76, we had a few years where we had a dalliance with relegation, and I remember little Geordie Armstrong was playing a blinder every single match, and somehow we kind of didn't go down. I don't think Arsenal will go down. I mean, to be honest, if you wanted Kroenkes out, that would be the way to actually get him out. If we went down, God forbid it should happen. And as Alex said, I will never prophesy that Arsenal will go down. But if it were to happen, then Kroenkes would start getting nervous and start thinking about selling. I don't think we'll go down. I think Arteta, who I rate as a manager, is still learning his trade, and I do hope he turns it round, because we've seen we didn't gain anything by sacking Emery. He's done wonderfully well with Villarreal. They're in the final that we couldn't get to. And as I say, I will probably have Brendan Rodgers in by this time next year. But I would really love Arsenal to get their act together and get these guys out. And there must be ways of getting them out. But unfortunately, they are driven solely by money. Solely by money. I mean, if you read up their history in the States, I mean, they are virtually hated in St. Louis, St. Louis, as it's pronounced. You know, because they dragged a club that was born there and brought up there and dragged it across the country. You know, these guys are only looking at the balance sheet. And if we do go down, God forbid, then they will be divesting themselves of the club very, very quickly. In fact, probably just before relegation hits, they'll suddenly say to somebody like Daniel Ek, here, take the club off us. But I hope James isn't right, but if he were right, it's the one way of making sure that the Kroenkes sell. So it's not a disaster if we get rid of the Kroenkes, because there's enough of a fan base to pack the stadium once the Kroenkes are gone and generate our own funds. And somehow, you know, football, to get serious about this, football has got itself caught now between the massive money that comes through TV revenue and the far less money that comes through the turnstiles, you know. And although they eulogize on the telly, isn't it great to have the fans in? Actually, we're there to provide the sort of backdrop. We are the backdrop and the oohs and the ahs. But the big money is not in the turnstile. And if somebody paying, I don't know, I think the lowest price at Arsenal is about 800 or 900, and then you go up to 1,500, 1,700, 1,800. Then if you want to go into club level, you're talking around about £3,000 or £4,000, and diamond level is way beyond that. And even then, with those we have the highest prices for any football club in Europe. In Europe, okay, compared to Germany, our prices for the average fan that works hard all week are crazy. So it's gonna, listen, things are not good. There is no doubt about that. Well, we've started this podcast talking about us being fleeced about these lemon style jerseys, but we've moved all the way through now until we see the two guys behind you are beyond ripping this club off. They have no interest in it. They just want to make big money. And God forbid if we go down, and it could happen, then that might be the only way to get our club back.
Let me go back in the live chat. Ash D says, hey up, Gooners. Welcome to the Monday LTEL Rant Show. Hit the thumbs up and the rants will increase. Listen, Terry, LTEL never rants. One owner says Kroenkes saw the price of the old gold fabric dye and instructed the manufacturers to water it down 99%. Yeah, Lemsip. That's what they call Lemsip. Here's a question for you guys. Question. Is Josh a better person than his father, James?
Person? Well, I don't know them. I don't know them, so I can't answer that question. But I just know that they're in it for all the wrong reasons. And I stand by what I say. I'm not talking about relegation next year. I'm just saying if things continue in this vein, it'll be 3 to 5. It will be 3 to 5. Leeds went chasing. West Ham went chasing. You see what happens. You see what happens. Just, football is unpredictable. We've got an opportunity now, but I don't think we've got the courage to make unpopular decisions. I don't think we've got the courage to go through our youth setup and give Daniel Ballard and give Mark McGuinness squad numbers to make them part of a first team squad. I also don't believe that Arsenal got a lot of money. I think they're broke. When you have to have a loan, an emergency loan of 120 million, and then you spend 2.5 million within a couple of hours securing the Odegaard deal, Real Madrid haven't missed Odegaard, have they? But apparently he's got a right to play for Real Madrid because he doesn't get on with Zidane. If you don't get on with Zinedine Zidane and you can't learn from Zinedine Zidane, then you're an idiot, aren't you? So it comes down to characteristics. Arsenal fans might not realise Odegaard signed an 8-year contract with Real Madrid, and you are at the biggest football club in the world. And if my memory serves me rightly, in my lifetime, I've only ever seen one footballer leave Real Madrid and go on to become a success, and that's Arjen Robben. It's the only one I've seen. When you leave that club, there is only one way, and that is down. But when he was at Vitesse and when he was at Heerenveen, nobody was saying anything. He has 2 good games for Arsenal. Sign him up, sign him up, sign him up. As Tell says, Smith Rowe's better, but Odegaard's the name, isn't it? That's what it's all about. But we will reap what we sow, and I maintain that between 3 and 5, it won't be Real Madrid. It won't be Super League. It won't be Bayern Munich. It'll be Barnsley. It'll be Bournemouth. It'll be Sheffield Wednesday, and it'll be Plymouth.
Des McLeod says, don't get me started on party, James. Dear me. Michael Knight, is that the same Michael Knight, Knight Rider? Out with the money bag. Stop buying. Simple as that. And Arnie Petra says a thumbs up. Greetings, yo, from the Banner County. Is that clear?
And look who it is. Vladimir Putin. Hey! Abu Anklar.
And Des McLeod says, FIFA deduct points off us now so we can get rid of the Kroenkes. Dearie me. Listen, I said this time next year, it's going to be more of the same, people, more of the same. Mid-table, yeah, lackluster performances, no European football, and nothing at all. More of the same. Sorry, Hotel. a bit of a downer. That's the way I can see it. I'm sorry, man. Anyway.
I'll have to go and watch Claire.
Where is she?
In a proper colour. Saffron and blue.
James, are there any interviews you can tell us about cricket before we wrap up this one?
Well, today saw my interview with Theo Tenkart, who played for Groningen and FC Twente, so a bit of an unsung hero and a bit of a name that not many people know, but he did have to play against Gullit, he did have to play against Van Basten and Frank Rijkaard, so his story is quite interesting. You may well have noticed there's not been too many interviews on the football aware due to commitments from both ends with the publisher and also myself. But we're hoping to get that fixed as soon as possible. And upcoming interviews on the Secret Footballer will include Arne Friedrich, the sporting director of Hertha Berlin, Warren Barton, John Solarco, and a former Gooner in Vince Bartram. So stay tuned.
Brilliant. Tell, Name your price. How much would you be willing to sell that top you're wearing there?
What, this one?
Yeah, that
Oh
one.
no. No. I can't sell. I can't sell the old Claire top. And actually, if you translate this badge here, it says "first into battle, last out." So that should be the attitude. When your team is playing, you don't let everybody else go and battle. You go in first, and you're the last to leave the battlefield. I haven't seen that at the Emirates Stadium or on telly for quite a while. Our battling players have left us, and we're left with exactly what Kroenke wants, which is an insipid team that can bring him in money. And there's going to be, we've had an interesting conversation today with James predicting relegation and me predicting a change of manager. And I think we'll just bump along the way we are, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. And Kroenke won't care because as we now know, he and all the other managers around Europe are running out of money. Their little golden, their goose that laid the golden egg isn't producing the golden egg, and they're not exactly panicking because these big money guys don't. That's the worst thing you can do if you're a big money guy. But they are doing all kinds of machinations to make sure that they can get Arsenal into a league, along with the European clubs that are losing money, are financially in an awful state, and they will find a way because money always finds a way. I'm sorry that we've ended on money, and it shouldn't be like that. We should all be thinking like Leicester fans. Isn't it great to have a fantastic owner, a fantastic manager, a fantastic club, a people's club? That's what football started at. That's what this shirt's about, because if you're from the Banner County, as Claire is called, you will always be a Banner County man, and you'll go and see your team. That used to be the feeling at Arsenal. I'm afraid we're drifting slowly, but we're drifting slowly away from what made us a great team.
Thank you for that, Otel. So, from the Markle Brighton Appreciation Society, we're gonna end this one right here. James.
A brilliant footballer. He's a brilliant footballer. He really is. People might say I'm biased, but I thought he changed the game on Saturday. I thought he was very unlucky not to start, and I really did think he changed the game, and a credit to his craft. And just wish he was an Arsenal player. But this is the thing: even at Aston Villa, an excellent footballer.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you buy him?
Yeah.
I'll give you a little bit of a sneak preview before we go. My interview with Dean Hammonds of Leicester, also played for Brighton and Southampton, and he played with Jamie Vardy and Mark Albrighton. And he was telling me, he said that Mark Albrighton, definitely inside the club, is anything but underrated. And those balls over the top in that season that Leicester won the league, they didn't fall out of the sky. They came from him. He's just an excellent footballer. And it's a travesty he's not been capped by his country. An absolute travesty. And he probably never will be capped by his country. But still, I'm sure England will have a strange Euros. And I think that they'll kind of go out quite early. But just a brilliant footballer. And this is one of the things I love as well. You know, I'm not just a football interviewer and an Arsenal fan, but also a football fan. I know a good player, I want to see one. Pedraza. How many other Arsenal podcasts would mention the name Alfonso Pedraza? But I watched him for Villarreal. I checked out his history. He's an excellent footballer. He might not be a star name, but he's a brilliant footballer. He could do a job for Arsenal in the summer, but Arsenal will just buy what people deem is world class, and we will reap what we sow.
Yeah, just very quick before we wrap up this one. You know, I know James, we've been exchanging messages on our WhatsApp Cannon Fodder TV group in regards to Vardy. Do you think Southgate would go back and speak to Vardy to see if he'll come into the Euros?
If he's got any sense, he will. This isn't a joke. You have to do the best for your national team. And Vardy obviously does not want to play second fiddle to Harry Kane. But nobody can't tell me that Harry Kane and Jamie Vardy can't play together. Everybody says 4-4-2 is out with the arc. If we had Vardy and Kane up front, England would start to make people raise their eyebrows. Southgate has the best and the best job you can ever wish for. We'd all love to be England manager. Not sure about Hotel, but I think he'd be swayed. I think unless there's a big violent coming.
No way.
But I'd cut my arm off for that job. I'd walk from here to Mexico for that job. I'm never going to get it. But when you are England manager, you've got a responsibility. You know, you've got the biggest job in English football. It's not about being the player's mate. You're supposed to be like a Sir Bobby Robson. You're supposed to be like an Alf Ramsey. You think of the great English football managers: Sir Bobby Robson, Howard Kendall, Ron Saunders. You know, these are all brilliant football managers. And Southgate, you know, he's very lucky to be in the position he's in. But he's got to ring Jamie Vardy. If he doesn't, it's very foolish. But I'll be surprised if he does. But well done to Jamie Vardy as well, because people say about spurning your country. No, he's not spurning his country. He knows he's going to be second fiddle when he's a better footballer and a better striker than Harry Kane. And it's a shame, really, but we'll just have to see what happens.
James, guys, I think you should be the Arsenal scout in the Netherlands. I think you're the perfect man. And do you know the way you'd wheedle your way in? Every time you see a good player, write to Arsenal, keep a copy, and when they've missed a few really top quality players that have gone to other teams, keep reminding them, I found that guy and you didn't listen to me. Keep it going and we could be talking. You predicted Arsenal might go down. Well, I predicted if you keep going the way you're going with all your wonderful interviews and articles, you could be an Arsenal scout. This time, 5 years' time, and we'll all be saying, this is the man. We all knew him when he was just a regular guy. Now he's got a cigar going.
Well, we'll see. I'll bear in mind, I would prefer player care officer. I would prefer player guidance officer, and so I'm going to go for that. But I'll take your advice on board, and we'll see what happens.
Go for it.
All right, guys, let's end up this one. Wonderful Monday evening chats. Wonderful content and discussion and debates there. Oh my goodness. Original Godfather, thank you for coming back. Sporting the correct yellow.
This is the yellow.
Yes.
This is the yellow, lad.
Tell, name your price, mate. Name your price, Tell. Name your price. James, wonderful stuff as always, man. Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
I'll remember to leave James Rose's Twitter handle in the description box once we're finishing this one. I will be back tomorrow afternoon again, giving some more live news right here on this wonderful channel. And if by chance you've been wondering who or what you've been listening to, the Mark Albrighton Appreciation Society on Cannon Fodder TV, the channel for Arsenal fans all over.